Okay, I'm just going to show you guys something. Look at all the grease and blood coming off that beaver pelt. So, yeah, I got to let that kind of drain somehow. So I got to get them hung up somewhere. But because of the way I skinned them, I'm probably never going to do it that way again. I'll show you the mess it makes on the pelt. Like, grease is bad on the pelt, blood is bad on the pelt, but blood is worse because it stains. So I got just cold water in there. I'm just gonna, now the pelt floats, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a bunch of rinsings on them just to wash them, then I'm gonna put them outside and let them hang. You'll probably start freezing a bit, but at least if the grease can, the pooling of grease that can drop off them, it'll make it easier. So I don't know if I'm gonna get him fleshed today or not. I'll get him all cleaned up. I'll just get a stick or something to kind of poke them down to keep them wet enough so that the blood doesn't dry. Because once the blood dries, then your problem is you got a stain. So this broom handle I've been looking for all my life, and it just at this magical point appeared, and it will go serve a noble cause. This is my new beaver washing machine. I don't have a washing machine that I can put in. I've seen people do like fur washings, and what I take out of it, if you have a washing machine that's no more good, basically what you do is get that pelt all nice and wet, and put it outside, and I'm not going to pour it down the sink. There's all kinds of dirt and everything in there. The idea is keep the pelt wet. Now we'll rinse them, whatever, but they just put it on the spin cycle, so hopefully the grease won't wreck the pelt here. But he's not fleshed yet, that's the other thing. My god, this one ever fat. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if this works out. Hopefully it'll work out well. And I got a bait pail for me. One of the nice things about this new setup is I won't be have to, it's a little more secure. The doors lock, not locked, but oh, it fits good. And what I'm going to do is basically be able to lock this up. I got to put some hangers so I can dry my pelts hanging up, so I don't have to worry about weasels and all that stuff. It's going to take, it'll be a process. And the other thing I'm going to get to do, what a disaster this is be able to, it stays a lot drier. The roof does leak in here a bit, but it's not as bad as the other place. What a disaster. So this thing is fully dried, which is good. Now what I wanted to do, oh my god, is he ever greasy. It's not too cold right now. It's pretty mild. It's hanging around 0, so he might get pretty greasy. I'll have to do them in one fleshing. I don't think I'll have, usually raccoons and stuff like that you want to do one fleshing. So what I got him, I'm going to put him on the board kind of, here's his leg. He's kind of sideways. The idea is I'm going to be able to go after the cheek meat and all that first. I'm going to try him on, first time I've ever fleshed anything on a board. I usually use the PVC pipes because that's all I got. If you guys are starting out and you got a little more money to invest, before you buy new traps, buy yourself a proper fleshing beam. So here we go. And I've already seen the first problem. And again, all that flesh and everything's going to go right into the pail there. So that's a problem. Let me get set up here. I'll go with what I knew. But yeah, if you get a proper fleshing beam, that way that save you a lot of trouble. So certainly got the eyebrow. Come back over the ear. Around the ears is kind of tricky. There's a lot of cartilage there. Alright, g'day and welcome. Okay, my greasy fat slimy raccoon is coming along. Still got daylight, not too bad, but it is getting dark in here. I finally, okay, this is my flesh and I know it looks pretty gross. So your dull side, sometimes when your dull side's just a little bit too sharp for, like, say, like around the underarms and stuff like that, and the chest and all that, you can go to something else. This is the sharp side. You see the bevel there, the sharp side. Bevel's always to you, and that's the dull side. But sometimes the dull side is still too sharp. So I got this thing. Weber makes it, or whoever makes it. But anyway, this thing seems to pull the fat down pretty good, and it's dull. And just to get you started really good and well. Now on animals where the pelt can really singe easy, like otters and mink and marten, that kind of pulling might be a bad idea because it might singe the hairs on the other side. But on a raccoon or a beaver, well, beaver probably wouldn't be this forgivable, but this is a great, nice tool around the legs anyway. I never really got a chance to really use it, but as I can see here, your risk of putting holes is a lot less. And just go until it gets into that zone where you just can't get through it. But like the belly and stuff like that, where it's more gentle, you might be better off to do that. And it's actually faster because you're not as paranoid. Doesn't mean you can't put a hole in it, but yeah, that works really nice right on the belly there. Okay, so I'm just about finished. Looks good. I'm just going to give him a quick clean up. Make sure I get all the meatlets off of me, and you know, especially before I go back into the house. Of course, put my glove back on. You just never stay clean enough doing this, I swear to God. Yeah, so I got it right from basically from the meat around the ears. There's a little bit left there, but I'm going to go over it with the knife, and then I'll scrape it up with that. What I'm just going to do is take the rest of the meatlets off this knife. Very hard to keep that beef clean with all the little chunks, but this is just like a final scrape down. Hopefully I got enough battery to catch it all, but it's basically just you know, the final cleanup or whatever. Just as it gets dark, it's about 4 o'clock. I don't have very much battery life left, so I'll see how far I could get on the GoPro. I got my other camera with me if I have to, but boy, that dark's really, that light's really fading fast once you get into the dark bush. Don't have anything else with me. Just pip and foot, my tomahawk. Got lots done today. I still got to do the beaver. Just finish putting the, just got to finish putting the raccoon on the stretcher. Drill a couple of holes in my other trapping bores. And then I can hang all my pelts up in the new pelt fleshing area. So everything went good today. Didn't get everything done today. I don't think I will, but I got like 90% of everything done today. So all right. Don't really like being back here without my gun this late in the evening. Boy, that light's fading fast. I know the GoPro probably a little brighter than what it shows on the GoPro. Let's go check my traps really quick, and I'm gonna head back. Fire. All right, yeah, it's going. I'll leave that go a little bit more. Got to pile that out, get some more wood in today. Goal is get all this filled up. Belly wedge. I made a boo-boo last night. Why are we making boo-boos? Gotta stop making these boo-boos. And warning graphic, I got a bunch of pelts out, so if you're sensitive to that stuff. I just brought in my beaver pelt. He's frozen. I forgot to put my belly wedge in there last night, so that's like priority number one. It's like last night I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? And belly wedge. So he'll be okay for today. He might be a little bit frozen, but I'm gonna get the belly wedge in. And this raccoon turned out really nice. I don't know about the legs. Maybe we could have done a bit better on the legs, but look at the thickness. That's pretty good. So I got him pretty even. Got the tail nice. Considering I screwed up on the tail when I accidentally pulled the tail off. So little note, especially when you're new at it. I don't know how the other guy got away with it, pulling the tail from here and not pulling the tail off. I pull from usually here on at least halfway, 2/3 to halfway. So take you a little longer to skin it down, but skin it down and then do the pull. If not, you'll break the tail off inside the pelt, and that could be a real pain in the ass. So it wasn't that much pain in the butt, but an extra 10 minutes will work for nothing. So I got my otter pelts in. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole in each little board at the top. There's my mink. My little mink down there. He's doing good. Doesn't smell very good in here right now, but it's not that bad. But not like when they're fresh. But the otter pelts are coming out. I know what you're probably going to ask. Why are these ones got that weird kind of white to them and these ones are not? This is, I think, is the oldest one. I think it's because they froze. I couldn't tell you why it does that. I couldn't tell you why it does that. But it does look good. I'm going to wipe them down, give them a maintenance. You know, and it's a good idea. Like, you can leave them outside as long as they're staying dry. But then maybe bring them in for a day or so or a few hours at a time just to monitor, make sure that they're fully, if they were frozen a bit, that they're fully thawed out. Like, you see all the grease just running off them. Particularly that one, that was really greasy. The early otters versus the late otters. The late otters, the fat's was a lot more dense. Oh, my dog. So what happens is the fat is easier to come off the early otters because it's not cold, they're not feeding off the fat stores. When they're starting to feed off the fat stores, that's when it's a lot harder to flesh them and stuff. That's pretty much all the animals, even a raccoon. But raccoons, because they're so gooey. Hey, Missy. Where's Gazoo? I got 2 out of 3 anyway.